want to swim faster, you need Sprint Revolution resistance equipment. This isn't just gear, it's a game changer. Our propellers, power socks, stretch cords, parachutes, and paddles are all designed to build explosive speed and power in the water. If you're serious about taking your swim to the next level, you need the best resistance gear out there. Sprint Revolution, where speed is born. All right, here we go, mate. Andrii Govorov, the world's fastest man in history, over 50 meters butterfly. We're finally sitting down for a chat, mate. How you doing?
Great, thank you. Very good. After a couple of 25s on the waters, kicks on the waters.
We did a workout today. We're back in training, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, mate, it's been a crazy week for us both. It's been a crazy week for the company, the Enhanced Games. How are you feeling today with everything that has gone on in the last few days, with your announcement, with traveling to Vegas, kind of the coming out party that we had? What about, how are you just personally feeling today?
Actually, I feel amazing because I'm feeling alive. My life is changing, and having a chance to have this unique opportunity to be somewhere that world are evolving and taking part of it. It's just a privilege. So I believe all of these new connections, new vision, and all these things that's happening around us, it's beautiful, and we could use it for good.
Mate, you come from turmoil in a way. I mean, your country is at war, and you've been struggling with that for the past 4 years. In terms of just the struggle that's been going on personally at home. Do you feel any peace lately? I mean, how do you feel?
We all want peace, right?
Yeah.
It's no freedom in my soul for a while, and it's quite a difficult question. So we are adapting. Humans are pretty adaptive, and we're trying to do best for families. And also, I would like to support my country in the best way possible. So I even see this little exposure of my personality, bring some Ukrainian flag on the different stages would be helpful as well. So it's a little part of that as well.
From my perspective, we've received a lot of support over the past few days since the announcement, right? I mean, it's obvious and clear that you can certainly focus on the negative, but from my perspective, there's been a lot of support. Have you felt that as well?
I mean, it's pretty controversial, and we understand that this coming out as enhanced, mostly fighting the stereotypes, and some people are just seeing the cover instead of just trying to understand what is behind that. People using wrong wording, like saying doping. Doping is actually the definition of doping. It's using banned substances by the organization. If we're a different organization, it's not doping, it's enhancements. And that's what people are not getting it yet. But I believe that we could actually deliver the correct information and spread the right word, what we are going to do. And I believe that support, it's all actually there. People just afraid of being judged. And it's actually easy to judge somebody by the cover. And if your life is set, and if you are already got everything from sport in a positive way, but you never actually get any negative impact from that, it's just easy to judge. But I believe that I could be that initial part of the neutral understanding. Like I could spread my neutral understanding and to deliver correct information without emotional context, and just deliver what I actually feel like.
What is it for you? What resonated with you in terms of the mission of the Enhanced Games? I mean, you've had choice, and we've all had choice. But the Olympic movement came out and said they're going to add 50s of strokes. I think a lot of people initially thought that you might be very excited about that, and I'm sure you were. But there's something about the mission of the Enhanced Games that really resonated with you, that obviously pulled you over. So what was it?
It was kind of deep inner dialogue, and the decision wasn't easy, of course. And having this 50 butterfly in the Olympics, it's kind of a childhood dream that resonates and that gives you a certain spark to try again. But then I calmed down. I cooled my emotions down, and I just started thinking about what is an Olympic Games in general? What is to be an Olympic champion? What is the benefits of being an Olympic champion, and what is the legacy? And is it organization take care of you at all, or those questions start to spin around my mind, and I've been in a deep inner thoughts, understanding what other doors could be opened for me and for my family. And I found out that it's actually to be even to be able to train to become an Olympic champion, I would need to go through the nightmares. Mostly because now, of course, my conditions are different than other athletes are because of the war and because of the results past couple years. And I would need to find certain support that I would probably never gonna get this. Because when you've been able to train in the top tier facilities with top tier coaches with a mostly unlimited support, it's such a difficult mentally, it's so difficult mentally to get back into the training without having that support. And don't take me wrong, I reached out every organization that could potentially support me to that journey, and I'm the world record holder.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who knows how to break suited world record without being suited, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if me, I not getting that support, what about other athletes who is top 5, top 6, top 10, top 12, top 20? What are their path? How does they get support? What is their future? How they can live and provide for families in order like 20, 30 years later? So now I kind of felt this responsibility on, okay, if I'm not developing my personality in any other way than athlete, I'm not going to be able to provide. So now we can compete, but then we need to have social medias running up, creating our own image, creating the opportunities for ourselves, and finding sponsors by ourselves. And then it's just fight over the fight. And then all the energy you're going to spend for that will be taken from the world record. You're not going to be able to do that. So having clear 2 potential plans in my life, being together with Enhanced and being again chasing the Olympic dream, just made me clear. I have no support to chase my Olympic dream. And it would be senseless for me trying just to be an Olympian again and again because I'm a world record holder. How can I chase something less than the best in the world? So I found ambitious people that want to change the world, want to change all the perspective of sport, giving a decent support, and give more transparent and equal competition. Level playing field that is actually pretty exciting to watch because we're gonna integrate science, transparency, fairness, and money together.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not allow those things in the world? Because we are humans and evolution is in our DNA. We need to evolve. It doesn't matter if we're gonna move towards this path. Doesn't matter the results. The path is beautiful because if sport's not gonna change, the sport gonna die. It's gonna be just amateur festival
Mm-hmm.
of people waving flags. That's it.
And we're seeing that now, aren't we? I mean, we're seeing, especially in America, you probably don't know the American system like I do, but programs are being cut, sponsors are being lost and dried up and money's disappearing. And, we've got the world championships coming up, and the majority of the world's best swimmers have decided not to even compete, So it's like, how do we expect to change and evolve when we just keep the old system? And it just seems dry. It seems dead. It seems like it's losing steam. For me, Enhanced was something completely revolutionary, exciting. You had people in the organization who were thinking 10 years ahead, not stuck 10 years behind. So these innovators, these people that see the future, people that want to create a future that's exciting and innovative. To me, that was very appealing.
100%. And they actually trying to deliver to athletes what they deserve to have. So we want to create we want to have the swimming or any other individual sports, Olympic sport as a profession. Now you don't have any other opportunities to be an athlete, having certain level of results. If you're not winning, you're not a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So imagine wasting, people say you're wasting your legacy. Actually, I don't want to waste 20 years of my career and not being able to have something to have a transition to my life. So that's an opportunity for every single athlete in the future. Plus, we will probably touch it about the longevity and about the smart approach that they do. And it's not about just take everything possible. It's about to analyze what you have, and we're going to touch it later.
And look, no, we'll touch it now because I think it's an important point. I don't want people to get lost after 10 minutes and switch this podcast off and not get to this point, because I think it's really, really important. What are the misconceptions out there? What are the falsehoods? What is the people saying that they're not thinking correctly in terms of what this really is, in terms of the enhancement protocol, and what Enhanced Games expect from you, and the freedom they've given you to make your own choices?
Yeah, that's a very important topic. And at first I would say I'm not enhanced yet. So I'm not at any protocol yet. And before even starting the protocol, I need to go through all the tests that my whole body needs to be tested, even if I'm able to take those enhancements. This is first. This is already brings enhanced into a whole different level of support, because the athletes first undergo the health check. Not that many countries going through health checks.
How many times in your career would you say you got a full body health check, from heart to lungs to blood to brain to every working muscle to full functionality? How many times in your career as an Olympic athlete?
Let's do this way. If we're talking about the actually full with all this ECG, MRIs, and all of this, I probably done it never altogether. But Ukrainian post-Soviet Union system have the health checks mandatory to be part of the national team. So we actually go through the general health check. It's ACG, blood tests. They also check the lungs capabilities. They check your eyes, like everything. It's in the general part of it. And that's what we are actually good at.
Yeah, you're ahead of most people, most countries too, because I, as a two-time Olympic swimmer, even as an Olympic coach, I never had my athletes go through any form of rigorous testing. If they wanted to get their blood checked, they might go get a blood test. If they had something wrong with them, they might get their brain looked at or their lungs looked at, but not collectively, and certainly not, as part of any rigorous test to clear yourself to compete at the Olympic Games.
To be part of the Olympic school in Ukraine, you must go through this whole health checks for sure, because it's a responsibility. As soon as you go to the boarding Olympic school, the responsibility on your life and health lays on the Olympic school. So, and not saying Olympic, let's say the sports school, because it's funded by the region and government most of the time. So. And they must go through all of those checks. But let's say, being honest, it's already kind of a little bit old school. So it's like, let's say, they're not digging into your body that much. Yeah, it's kind of a basic thing, but it's actually helpful to see, to prevent all these risks of dying on a field, let's say, right? But if we go through the full checks like Enhanced will provide right now, it's I've done it only by my own initiative, for myself to be healthy and to be sure that I'm ready to compete in the highest level possible. Because by definition, high performance sport, it's unhealthy, and every single athletes know that. So, and this is what is my vision on the enhancements. In order to take them, I don't want to take them to abuse my own body. I want to take them to support my body when it's needed. When my way of training, because my way of training is crazy. I reaching the lactates that nobody else in the world probably reaching. So my best was 24.9 with Portuguese team. They tested me there, and imagine those this pressure on my body never been supported in a certain way. So I'm already exhausting my body in all scenarios, and having this support potentially could have me better recovered, better mentally as well, prepared for the next practices. And it would be completely on my own decision-making pattern, right? So it would be recommendation-based. So it's not something that you must take this. No, it's going to be the professional doctors that's going to provide you in information, and based on that information, you will take a decision. So that's why
It's a
beautiful.
personal decision.
Yeah, it's
too.
personal decision. It's all based on the personal decision. And if some people don't want to take it, something nobody going to force them to
And
take
it's
it.
all legal prescription medication, nothing illegal, nothing black market, anything like that.
100%, and that's why we also want to explain again. This is not doping. Doping is the definition of banned substances, right? Banned by the organization. Organization is WADA. Why does they took ban of, for example, salbutamol in the past, and now it's legal? It's all the decisions that made by this organization. So what is going to be right now is going to be legal only for those substances that's already going through the medical prescription base. And actually, if we open already this conversation, TUE by the definition is legal doping. So people who taking right now TUEs, some substances are completely illegal in our sport because by the WADA, but they are legal in the normal.
Now, TUE, just for those listening who don't know what the definition of that is that's a therapeutic use exemption. So if you have a therapeutic use exemption from a doctor, you can take a banned substance, let's say, that might be on the WADA list, but because you have this doctor's approval for medical reasons, then you're able to take it. And so there are athletes that are competing at the Olympic level that have therapeutic use exemptions for certain medications.
That's also what brings these double standards on or in the whole sport, because me personally, I've been so afraid to use any kind of substances my whole career that even when I had the trouble with my shoulder, the doctor were prescribing me the corticosteroids that would be good for my shoulder to heal it up. But I've been so afraid and I refused to do that. So through my whole history of my whole sport, I never took a single TUE. So that's a big question mark, because you cannot see who is taking TUEs, you cannot see the substances that the athletes taking, and it's all kind of secret, because of we understand why, because it's a private health privacy, right? But the people, because of that, they could use more. Some countries are actually using more. By the official statistics of WADA, 25% of TUEs are from America or France. So, and then we talk about fair play, and the fair play is not fair just because some countries could have more access to these doctors who prescribe it, or somebody just already know the system and they already have this easier way to use legally banned substances, and nobody will call them that they use doping.
Now, at the Olympic level, we called this cheating, right? Because there were known underground whispers that people were taking certain things and basically effectively competing against you as a lie, knowing that some athletes were cheating, right? That is like they're hiding something and they're pretending that they're clean, but they're not. In this situation at Enhanced, everybody's on the same playing field. So this is different. Like we feel very strongly about cheating. We feel that it is wrong. That's the way I feel anyway. I hated competing against athletes that were knowingly cheating. We're now in a situation where we're a completely separate organization, where the athletes are all working together with a team of doctors and choosing what enhancements they decide to take and how much they want to take. But it's all fair and even across the board, right?
And I think this is the beauty of that sport, because we've seen the example of James right now taking probably more options of enhancements and just getting so big and still not being able to perform in the level he wanted to perform. And that's also goes into real science, when we need to have the optimization of things and smart decisions, because in order to perform, you don't need to just take the pill and win. It's no magic pill. Don't take it wrong. Actually, to show extraordinary results, it's all work-based. The skills are still there. The technical thing is still there. Tactical thing is still there. Discipline is still there. And mostly because when you're going to have all guys who's going to competing there, fighting for something more valuable than they ever had in their own career, like fighting for $1 million, that's high stakes. Those stakes are going to put them in the situation to sacrifice a lot of things, even the same way they sacrifice through Olympic movement, but they're going to get paid. Of course, it's a concern about the health, and that's why the medical team are going to be there to create those limits for them personally that they could take, and I'm sure they will never recommend anything that would would be potentially dangerous for their health.
Well, there's also abuse, right? And in my research, as part of a coach that has come on board full time with Enhance, I've done my own research. I've asked questions. I've talked to doctors. I've listened to podcasts. I've read books. I've done everything you could possibly do in order to educate myself. And there has certainly been abuse of drugs in the past. And from my work with James and with Christian, this is something completely the opposite. This is not abuse of drugs. This is a small window of a protocol that is using very minimal amounts of performance enhancements that have very slight effects on the body, actually. I've read where, and I don't know this for certain in terms of specific people, but I've read there's abuse in bodybuilding and weightlifting or what have you, sports where you need to be strong and powerful. And certainly there has been abuse in the past. From what I understand and working with the guys now, this is far from anything like that.
And that's why I'm here, because my fully informed consent will be there, and I will decide for myself if I'm gonna take anything or not. The decision will be made pretty much later, right? So now we are just back in the normal training. We're just gonna get fit. We're gonna get into the standard level of fitness, go through the full health checks, and then we're going to have the recommendation. And based on the recommendation, we have the plan for breaking world record again. So
what's up? This is Nate from Swim Nerd. Just letting you guys know about Swim Nerd timing. We now offer the most affordable, the easiest to use timing system in the world. We got it all. Starters, harnesses, buttons, touchpads, scoreboards, your one-stop shop for all your timing needs. Check us out at swimpractice.com.
You've got the world record. This is an important point too. You've got the world record. You've swum faster than anyone in history as a clean athlete. Can anybody do this? Can anybody just take performance enhancing drugs and break your world record, you think?
Oh, anybody? No, for sure. You need to be special for, you need to be at least butterfly to break the world record, right? Look, records are for being broken. So it doesn't matter. I've got this piece of history. I broke it. And if anybody will break it, I will be just happy for that, because this is the evolution, and it will be part of my, I still will be part of the legacy. So what I'm curious about me trying to beat it again, I'm 33 years old, so I broke the record when I was 26, and I went through the most difficult period of my life, and like COVID, war, and a lot of different things beside that from personal life. And I'm actually genuinely curious, is it by any chance with a decent medical supervision, I could get a piece of my young me trying to beat it again? I'm genuinely curious about this, because we are all aging, don't take me wrong. Trying to peak perform at 33 is probably going to be more difficult than peak performing in 26. But I still believe with the decent support, I would like to enjoy and feel it again, feel this feeling, how my body recover, and how could I actually perform the same speed again. And this is makes me more excited, because it's just kind of the experiment of the swimming longevity as well. Because we could provide not only better salaries as enhanced for athletes and give them what they actually deserve, but we also make the profession the more longer for them, that they could actually be a decent athletes that go through life and make the stability for them and decide to be a professional athlete, professional swimmer, or track and field athlete, or weightlifting athlete. I think the stability and life longevity, it's a great example for people that if they are not athletes, they still could benefit the same way as their life quality in general.
Right. And look, to be honest with you, I turned 50 in a couple of days. So I understand the aging body and the limitations that I have on myself now. I've lost muscle mass. I feel like my testosterone levels, my own hormone levels have dropped considerably since, in the last 10, 15 years. So my body's going through changes. I see this as learning that's going to help the older generation as well. Look, we're talking about elite performance, but it's still performance. At some level, you're still waking up every day. You're still working out. You're still improving your body. You're going through growth. Those sorts of things. So I see this as a way to help the older generation, the aging generation, and I think the learnings from this are going to be so powerful. You know, I understand people want to focus on the kids and the impact this will have on children. I don't think this goes very far beyond any normal conversation that you would have with your children. These are prescription medications. You're working with doctors. Kids can't access those anyway. So, you know, it would be the same as talking to your kids about marijuana, about alcohol, about speeding in a car, or, you know, about all sorts of issues that you have with children. This is just another one of those things that you would talk to your kids about and educate them on. But the learnings, I think, are going to be so powerful for the older generation. That's where I'm excited about this.
And you're completely correct. People are saying about the example for kids, and that's what we actually want to deliver as well. It's not about enhancements here. It's about the responsibilities. We are so tired of having those scandals going under the carpet and double standards that other countries are using this system of contamination, TUEs, or swapping samples. So why not make it transparent? Make it, depends, like, let's say 21 plus or 18 plus, depends on the regulations, and educate about the responsibility of the actions. So we are against uncontrolled usage of any substances. This is red flag for any person on the planet Earth. It must be prescription plus full supervision, because as soon you have both of those things, you can actually move into the superhuman. If you go into the uncontrollable way, imagine this: you have no driver license and you go to the spaceship. What are you gonna do? Nothing. So you're just gonna crash. So that's exactly why it should be responsible and driven by the scientific, educated people with all knowledge they acquire and provide. And that's what is my belief: full supervision, full support, and responsibility.
Look, I've known you for a number of years now, and I was there when you broke the world record, actually, and watched it live. So I've seen you at your best. To me, it seems like you've gone through some struggles, like you said, but you're coming out of this now where you're more energized, more enthusiastic, more excited about the future than for many years, I can tell.
That's true. I wake up every day. I don't think about my side business projects to provide for my family. I can focus on my sport results, of course, and I could focus on my ideology, because I'm honest to myself. I also have my own son, 6-year-old son, and my family. I know how it's important to deliver proper information for children, and I'm ready for taking this courage and to defend the project in the best way possible, because we need to understand that stereotypes are deep inside us. And I know cheating is a very bad thing, and I'm never cheated, and I will never cheat for sport performances. That's why I'm brave enough to come here and tell it to all world, instead of just hiding it, trying to abuse TUEs, or not following the doping rules. That's why I'm retired. And if you saw my video, I'm retired forever, even though that through probably some legal process I could fight for my comeback, but I will never do that because of respect of my colleagues in sport, because they actually know how difficult it is to be a swimmer, and they actually know the struggles, and a lot of people afraid to ask because of the hate going through the internet. But I tell you, they're asking. A lot of people are interested and tired of being underpaid athletes, struggle through life, then going into the depression, alcohol addiction, drug addiction. And if you can read a couple books of some athletes wrote, they went through the dark places. Not because of sport, just because nobody told them at the age of 8, 9, 10 years old that to be an Olympic champion will set you for life. Because Olympics actually, I have nothing against Olympics. I've been dreaming this. I've been dreaming the life with them. So I've been going to the beautiful competitions, and I had an opportunity to open the world for me through the Olympic movement. But what I believe, it's need to be more respect towards those athletes that's giving away the life without having an opportunity to get paid, at least paid. And also a lot of deeper questions, because I have a political degree in political science. And how many athletes have insurance? What do you think around the world?
Insurance?
Health insurance.
Oh, health insurance?
In the sports way, like health insurance.
Yeah.
I brought up this question as the member of Athlete Commission in Ukraine many times. That's when I went through the shoulder injury to make the surgery that's need to be done for an athlete, not for the common person, because my shoulder is my result. I had zero support again, and I'm not going to ask them to pay 10 to 50. It's the range of this surgery prices between 10 to $50,000, depends on the country. Of course, nobody gonna pay me that, but that's why the insurances should be provided for every single athlete who works. But we don't have it. Nobody treat us as professionals. Those things should be changed. We need to have health insurances, decent salaries. We need to be respected around the world as workers as well, because our work is more dangerous than many others because we are physically impacting every day on a high limit of on highest limits of the body potential. That's important.
All right, two last questions. First of all, about the organization. A lot of people don't know the people behind the scenes. You and I do. And you don't need to be specific and give names because people won't know who they are. But just in terms of the people behind the scenes, how have they treated you coming into this organization? How have they made you feel?
That's interesting. The people who went through the whole Olympic movement, the most successful ones, actually, let's say philosophically trying to understand the project. They cannot take sides, but they're asking decent questions and they're not judging because they know how difficult it is to be an athlete. So we have certain inner dialogues with people who is in the organization and knowing how difficult is the Olympic movement right now. And they just giving in this, I think, being even neutral, but asking and being curious about this is kind of a support they're actually giving us because they need to be careful about what they say right now.
Well, I was actually more concerned. I was actually asking more about the people within the Enhanced organization.
You're saying,
yeah, those people, because nobody knows who they are. Who are these people? You know, like just some random guys with money, you know, but no, how have they treated you?
Okay, but the Enhanced people from the team, they're entrepreneurs at first. They are really ambitious people that they want to change this world through the new project like that. They are brave enough to stand up against the whole stereotypes, and you need to have a courage for that. And they have 100% support for what we are doing right now, and they respect us in the way, and they listen to us in the way the best possible. Of course, it's still a business project, and it should be profitable by the concept as well. But I believe in that because we're not just providing the showcase. The showcase is just an example. But what we are going to open for the whole humanity in the future, that's monitoring and support, like scientific support for people, would increase their life quality and life longevity.
Right. All right, last question then. Some people have said in the comments section that you're over the hill, you're past your prime, you'll never get back to your best. Now, you've swum a couple of days with me in the water. Do you feel there's potential for you to not only get under the world record, but potentially get under 22 seconds?
I have a very competitive mindset. And of course, in my head, it's already certain establishment that the goal is to be 21-second butterfly swimmer.
Right.
With the swimsuit, with enhancements, of course, the chances are getting pretty high on that. But beside that, I'm enjoying the journey. I will do the best possible and just try to observe what is this path is and how does it gonna feel and how we can deliver this knowledge to the whole world, because these experiments, it's not it's very hard to find the chance to even experiment in that way, right?
Yeah.
The whole support we have, all the knowledge we have, all the conditions, and even being the actual world record, this make this story such a unique journey that I'm living the new let's say new inspirational life right now. Like what's next and how can I feel and what is the potential outcome. So I'm enjoying it every day right now of my life, and I have a decent support from the team, from Enhanced team, and I believe that they have this courage to change the world.
Yeah, Me too, me too. Well, listen, thank you for listening to Andrei's story. I wanted to highlight him today. I'd love to get Christian on here and talk to him about breaking the world record and the things that went into that. I'd love to get James Magnus on here and talk to him about being the first to take this leap forward. I'd love to also have people from the organization come on and you can get to know them and listen to their story. This is our platform. Other people have their own platforms. Other people will tell you what they want to tell you about us. We're here to give it to you straight. I'd love to tell you my story as well. So I'm going to get on here soon and give you everything that I know as well and how I feel. But this is Andrei's story. He's a pioneer in this space. He's a good man. If you don't know him, get to know him because he's a very decent human. He's a father. He loves his son. So there's a lot of special things about him, and I'm excited for what's going to happen over the next 12 months, man. So thanks for sharing today.
Great journey.
Thanks for being here. All right. Take care.